PPR. Quick shout out to our sponsor, First Northern Bank and Trust, your community, their commitment. Make sure you check these guys out at 1stnorthernbank.com. It's the local bank that has all the modern technologies. However, they don't treat you just like a number. They treat you like a person who is very concerned about their money, and they do everything they can to keep your money financially sound. Check these guys out at 1stnorthernbank.com. Second hour of the show, and you guys know what that means. That means it's time now for my special guest in this hour of the second hour of the show. Today we have a gentleman who's hailing from a different country. I always like to say that because it's kind of fun to know that they're not necessarily an American artist, but we've had many artists hailing from this country. So excited to have this guy on board. He's got some great music. Like I mentioned before, a neat kind of mix of types of music. We're going to talk about how he kind of spans a little bit. As a solo recording artist, I'm very excited. He's also a songwriter, and he's got a great voice. Really sexy, by the way. Anyway, please make welcome to the show my guest for today, Mr. Cory M. Coons. Hey, Cory, how are you?
I'm doing great, Casey. How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm excited to have you on the show today. Yeah, we were talking a little off air, and you were like, okay, let's play these songs. Maybe there's some other songs that are a little bit more on the rock or whatever. But, I mean, I think that's one of the things that really help make artists different, and we're going to kind of dig into that music in just a little bit. But I teased my listening audience a little bit about where you're from, how you hail from there. And, you know, I think people forget that country music is really worldwide. There's so many countries out there that really have grasped onto the country music industry and the rock music industry. And it's not just Nashville, United States anymore. It's blossomed into many other places. Tell us how it's affected you and where you come from and how you kind of got into this singer-songwriter, recording artist kind of guy.
Well, thank you very much, first of all, for the comments. That's wonderful. Yeah, country music's worldwide, for sure. I mean, country rock, and all sorts of roots rock and stuff like that. I'm influenced by all that stuff. I started way back in the day when I was just a kid listening to country music, actually, when my mom had the old country station out of Ottawa, Ontario here, not far from where I'm from. So I grew up listening to all the old country stuff, you know, Kenny Rogers and Johnny Cash and stuff like even Tom T. Hall or all that stuff I remember very well as a kid, you know. And then I just kind of developed through my teen years and kind of got more involved in the melodic rock stuff and the pop rock and all that sort of stuff. And so then just continued on and started writing songs through my teen years, started playing bass guitar when I was about 13 years old and joined some high school bands, played with some friends, and then took off after high school on the road, did some Northern Ontario touring, and then on to some eastern, I guess southeast U.S. touring in the later 90s with a different cover band. And then from then on, I just started really digging in and writing and recording my own music and developing myself as a songwriter, and it's kind of where I'm at now. So a good blend of all that stuff, country and rock and, you know, sort of rootsy stuff too.
That's awesome. I have to say, you know, every time I have a Canadian artist, I'm always listening for that Canadian draw, and you have very little of it. I'm kind of surprised that you don't have that Canadian draw. Is it because of where you're from doesn't actually have that, or is it because you spent some time in the United States? Where did it go? I was so looking forward to it. Where's that draw?
Oh, you mean the Canadian accent?
Yeah.
So I can tell you, like, oot and a boot, that's where we're going, oot and a boot today. I think I still have it. It depends on the day, and I don't know, when I talk about my music, I tend to talk to a lot of people, not just in Canada, so it's kind of cool. I've been doing some interviews, lots of interviews in the United States recently, so I'm getting to talk to everybody, you know, New Jersey, and then out on the West Coast as well, and all over the place, so it's really cool. But thank you very much. Maybe I've lost some of it, I don't know, but I think I still have it. So.
A little bit, just a little bit. Yeah, and it depends on the word you say, I've noticed. It's some's not there at all, and then there's other ones that I can feel the draw on it there. So I guess Michael's doing his job, right? He's getting you out in the United States, getting you a little exposure that way, right?
That's right. No, Michael's great. Michael Stover and MTS, yeah, he's fantastic. He's been doing a great job, and really appreciate what he does for independent artists all over the world.
Now, let me ask you, how did you get connected to Michael?
Well, I've known Michael for a few years. We were in contact probably 5 or 6 years ago, and we just kept in touch. I never did any work with him up until, I guess, about 2 months ago.
Okay.
When we started working, promoting this new record of mine called The Long Road Home, and I'm also promoting the new single, Once Too Many, Twice Not Enough. So yeah, Michael's just been fantastic for the 2 months so far, and we're going to continue working together into the future. So.
All right. Well, that's good to know, and so excited about that connection that you've been able to make. Yeah, he's brought me a lot of different artists over the years, and they're always spectacular. So you're already in that group of amazing artists that he's brought me over the years. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you very much.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the things that are helping get you established. You've been nominated for and a recipient of a couple of different awards. Do you want to explain some of that to our audience so they know where where your features are coming from here? I see you've gotten nominated and received a couple of different awards for some of the things that you've done. Give us a little background on some of that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. I guess it was around 2014 when I released an album called Share a Little Time, and that was recorded in between Los Angeles and San Francisco with Mr. Ron Nevison producing, who's very well known over the 70s and 80s and on into the new millennium here with recording and producing lots of artists from anywhere from like Bad Company and Heart and right up to Led Zeppelin and all kinds of stuff. So, but I got to work with Ron, and then later on that year, in 2014, I received a message from the founder of the LA Music Awards saying that I was nominated and if I would like to come down and take part in Los Angeles for the 2014, first it was the voting party, which was in September of 2014 at the Whiskey A Go-Go, which was amazing. Got to showcase 3 songs there. And then from then on, that following November, I got to go back to the actual award ceremony at the Avalon Theater in Los Angeles, and I was very, very fortunate enough to take home an award for the Studio Album of the Year for the Share a Little Time record. So I was really, really honored and pleased with that. So.
And then you also were nominated in the Male Singer-Songwriter and Record of the Year, too. You had some nominations, little niche in your belt for those as well.
Yeah, I had 2 nominations that year, and then the following year I had another nomination for Rock Artist of the Year as well. So.
Yeah, which defines the fact that, you're a little versatile in your music. You've got a couple of different sounds going on. Now, let's talk a little bit about this Long Road Home. This is your current album that you have out there?
Yeah, just released this year.
Okay. And and you mentioned to me, we're going to pick a couple songs that are more on the countryside, but you have a variety. You've got some versatility going on. You're pulling on a couple of different genres there. Do you want to talk a little bit about some of the tunes on there that more on maybe on the rock side of things and where those inspirations came from?
Yeah, I think the intro song, the first song on the record, it's called Long Road, Dead Man's Dream. That's a real rock song. It's a real melodic sort of catchy, radio-friendly rock song, I guess you could say, which really drives the record and expands on the title of the record a little bit as well. So, yeah, lots of influences there from anything from Bon Jovi and Styx and all that kind of very commercial melodic rock through the years, and then there's some other rock songs on there, like Trail of the Chosen One, which is sort of a real guitar-driven song as well. And then to some of the newer, not the newer, but the more sort of roots rock, country rock sort of feel, with Once Too Many, Twice Not Enough, which is the latest single. And then Would You Stay has a bit of a sort of very radio-friendly as well, kind of like a pop rock feel to that one, I guess you could say. So, yeah, I kind of span the horizons a little bit there. So, but I think the majority of the record, I would say, is probably melodic roots rock.
Okay. Is this in hard copy CD? Is it only on electric? How can people get their hands on it if they're interested in given this Long Road Home CD, album, electronics? How do they get their hands on it?
Yeah, you can go to my website if you want to order it there. We can send you a copy for sure, hard copy, at any time. Just go to my website to the music section, and there's you can do the PayPal, the buy now link sort of thing. Mm-hmm. There's also CD Baby links, and there's iTunes and Spotify. Everything's all connected to my website, so you can just see all the links right there on the main page, and you can set yourself up any way you like.
Now that's Cory M. Coons, C-O-R-Y, M as in Mary, C-O-O-N as in Nancy, S.com. That's the website there?
You got it, CoryMCoons.com.
All right, so they can check that out. If you guys want to take a look at that, you can see a little bit more about Cory and M. Coons and what he's up to. And like he said, you can see the news about him and his video and things along that line. Some of the music that we were talking about and you said are a little bit more on the country side of thing. First, let me ask you, every song on here, are they penned by you, co-penned by you, or some of these, songs that you were like, I'd like like to do the song and has been presentations to you? How does it work?
They're all original songs. I wrote
Okay.
all the songs on the record. There's on the one song, Would You Stay, we added a new outro section to it, which, because that song was originally done in 2012. I did a version of that song before, but I wanted to re-record this version and kind of sort of update it a little bit. So my friend Mark Muir from Cornwall, Ontario, who was an amazing guitar player, played on my record for me, and also engineered some of the stuff as well. And between his studio and the studio we worked out of with Ron, which we did in Vancouver, Washington. So we've kind of spanned that back and forth. But yeah, everything's all original with a little bit of help from Mark on one song sort of thing. And
So these are your stories inspired by whatever helped you write this music. Tell us a little bit about the title. And you said, the title track also, Long Road, Dead Man's Dream. Where does that come from? What's the inspiration for the title of the album and that first track there?
Well, I think it just sort of encompasses myself as where I'm at as a songwriter and a performer. I kind of feel really at home with my writing again. Sort of like, it's been a long journey sort of thing over the years, and to getting where you're at, and also the traveling in between recording albums and stuff, that's sort of a long journey too. So being from Eastern Ontario, Canada, all the way down to California and the west coast of the United States or wherever, So yeah, it's kind of just all encompassing that, and just feeling really secure and I guess kind of rooted in where I'm at with my songwriting and my performing now. So.
Awesome. So I think I'm going to have to take a break here soon, and I want to make sure that we come back with one of your tunes. Cory, tell me about a song that we talked about you want me to play. Once Too Many, Twice Not Enough. Give me some information about that one so people have a background feel of what they're going to be listening to.
Yeah, well, that's, like I said, that's got sort of a roots rock, country rock feel. It's kind of spans the musical genres a little bit. Very melodic. It's very catchy chorus, I think. It's sort of the title or the chorus part of the song, I guess, if you want to get into specifics about the writing part of it. It's kind of talks a little bit about life being a gamble a little bit, and, if you don't take the right chances, you might get stuck in life, and kind of do what feels right, and you strike the right chord, and things will turn out for you. So.
Nice. Oh, I like it. Little inspirational music there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break, and we're going to be back with Cory M. Coons. Check this guy out on his website. It's simply that, CoryMCoons.com. And you can see a little bit more about this guy. You can find out how you can get your hands on his music. Can you hang in there for just a little bit?
I sure can.
Awesome.
Okay.
We need to take a break, so we're gonna be back with this guy in just a minute. Now, remember, this is off his brand new album that's out there, Long Road Here. Hard copies available on his website across the electronic, digital platforms. And we're gonna play Once Too Many, Twice Not Enough, coming from Cory M. Coons in just a minute. Don't go anywhere. It's Penn's Peak Radio, broadcasting from the Lehigh Valley Health Network studios, right here at Penn's Peak. And we heard a tune from the Long Road Home album with Cory M. Coons back there. What a great song, and I like it. Like you said, it's upbeat. It's kind of got a message to it. It's a good little toe tapper. And, I think the more people listen to it, they're going to hear more and more about the message that you're trying to deliver in it. And I liked it. I liked it a lot, Cory. Good job.
Oh, thanks very much, Casey. I really appreciate that.
And I'm looking forward to actually hearing the entire album because, like you said, we talk about this all the time. The genre line between the rock and the country. I mean, there's so many blends of it now. The country rock country. I mean, I've had people on the show that say that they've got industrial country. I mean, there's so many names out now for the crossroads that are going on between it. So I think it's still a perfect match between the two, and to blend it is smart. It's really, really smart. And I think it's going to work for you. I like it. And you got a great voice.
Well, thanks so much. No, I don't know if it's intentional or it's just all of my influences kind of mushed into one thing,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I like what they say that when they talk about the influence you've had has been a variety of, like, you call it the melodic rock, the roots rock, blended with the country and the country rock. I mean, you got artists like Steven Tyler and Justin Timberlake and all them. I always call it kind of dipping their toe into the country pool,
Jovi did that too.
Yeah, I mean, a bunch of them do. So, where is the line anymore? Is there a line? Does the line even exist? And to create that whole great new mix genre, you're kind of like, you got both sides of a happy coin. You know what I mean? There is no bad side.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of the rock artists went to Nashville probably in the late 90s, or even maybe in the mid-90s to late 90s, and then just have stayed there. I mean, set up shop, sort of with the songwriting, and you get a lot of influences from people from the Nashville area, I would imagine. I've never actually had the chance to, get, into Nashville and kind of experience that vibe. I've been traveled around Nashville and kind of passed it back in the 90s when I traveled and toured with a cover band and stuff, but I think that would be something that would be really influential on someone's songwriting and their music in general,
So is that a possibility of you kind of going down to Nashville and, exploring some possibilities down there by presenting your music down in that area? You think it would be a good fit?
Oh, I'd love to get to Nashville and I'd love to just co-write or do something. I've always been into the networking of songs with different people, and I think that would be great to collaborate with someone or more than one person and see what comes out. That would be fantastic. I mean, it's always been something I've wanted to do. It's on my wish list or my bucket list just to go and get to check out Nashville at some point. So.
So okay, so the album has some great music on it. We're talking about this cross of music and all that. I think it would do well down there, no matter what. And as an independent artist, I think that kind of frees you up to do some things that. It's always nice to have that label and the financial backing, but at the same time, and I've talked to other independent artists about this as well, you kind of have a little bit maybe more freedom in what you want to do. And as a songwriter, you can write what you want to write about and produce the music the way you want. Is there a side that's a little bit more of a happier place, the songwriting or the performing for you, or are they both kind of equal?
That's a great question. I like it all. I think the emotional side of things probably comes out a lot with the songwriting part of it, writing the ideas and coming up with melodies and then being inspired at certain times to write things. And then performing, you get that connection with the audience and your fans and your friends. You get that real deep connection if you can sort of touch someone in the heart with something you've written and they get to remember that, or if they can remember where they were when they heard your song at the time they heard your song or something. I mean, that's an important thing, I think, for an artist, and it means a lot. So I think it's all of it, performing, writing, and it's all encompassing to me. So
and having and I think the independence of an independent artist, the flexibility of that, I think is awesome. And I don't know if you've ever spoken to Bill Hughes down in Nashville.
No.
Okay. Don't hang up after the interview. I want to give you some information. I want to hook you up with a friend of mine. So let's talk a little bit more about some of the other tunes that I think are great songs. Again, how many songs are on the entire album?
This new record has 8 songs. We kind of went old school with an 8-song album. So.
Okay. And again, I just want to make sure people know this is called Long Road Home. You got some rock influences in there. You got some country influences in there. 8 songs. We've played one for you already. Let's talk a little bit about Break the Fall, another tune on this album, one of the 8. Yeah,
that's sort of a songwriter song. I mean, it's got that sort of, I guess, bit of a heartbreak vibe to it, It's kind of a universal message. It's not personal about anyone in particular or anything like that. It's just kind of, sometimes I write things that kind of, I like to take the listener to a place where they can sort of imagine their own outcome or their own meaning to a song and what it's about to them, because I think, again, as a songwriter, then you're doing your job right if you can evoke that emotion out of people and stuff. Yeah.
Well, it's nice.
Those ballady type songs.
Okay. All right. We've got that one. We're going to play that one at the end of the interview, and then we've got one more song coming up at the end of the show to remind everybody to listen in on Sunday as the entire show gets recorded and played back on that right there. We'll notify you of that. We'll also notify you. We put the interviews out on our YouTube channel, so you'll be informed about that as well. You can tag your friends. Hey, if you missed the interview, here it is for you. So we'll be keeping you informed on all of that. So tell us, is there any video productions on any of your songs? Is there a plan for that? What's some of the future boxes that you need to tick off, or you're planning on ticking off here, that you think my audience might be interested in? If they're going to be looking for Cory M. Coons, what should they be looking for maybe in the near future here, or till the end of the year of 2018, early 19?
Well, as far as videos go, so far we've done 2 lyric videos
Okay.
for 2 singles, for Long Road and Once Too Many, Twice Not Enough.
Okay. Okay.
I'm hoping that we can do a 3rd single off this record too, and potentially put a real video together, whether it's a live video or a story type video. Hoping for that. Now we'll see how the budget goes and the time constraints go and everything else. So yeah, there's always stuff I'm currently working on. I'm always writing music, obviously too. I've got a bunch of other stuff been working on over the last year and a half too. So
Okay.
we'll see how that kind of lends itself to in the next year or two to maybe another release of some, whether it's not maybe an EP again or maybe a full length record. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But
Okay.
just really focusing on pushing this one right now for this year and into next year and trying to get some good response. So far it's been fantastic. All the response has been great, and I want to thank everybody for all their positive comments and support. So
Awesome. But I know that is a challenge of the independent, artist too. It's all coming out of basically your pocket. So
that's right.
I know that's a challenge, which is it's the ups and downs of either being independent or being sponsored by a label. So that's the challenge. But the freedoms sometimes outweigh that challenge as well. So 8 songs on this album. Hard copies available on the website, CoryMCoons.com. Again, that's CORY, M as in Mary, COON as in Nancy, S, Coons.com on there. So that's where they can find about the EP. Are you traveling a lot? Are you getting out there putting this music in front of people?
I've been traveling mostly here in Eastern Ontario, locally, doing shows. August was quite busy. We did a couple of local fairs here in my Eastern Ontario region, and some acoustic shows. I'm doing a couple of those. I have one coming up at the end of the month here in a small town of Kemptville, Ontario, not far from where I'm from. And so we're looking at, like I said, with promoting this record and trying to broaden the horizons and hopefully get out there and get a wider reach of traveling at some point in the new year as well.
Okay.
I can do some further traveling with it. Would be kind of cool, but things have changed in my life. I have a 4-year-old daughter as well, with my wife and I and my 4-year-old daughter. So she just started school, so that takes up a little bit of your time,
Sure. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So, yeah, but I mean, I always like to make a mention. I mean, Pennsylvania is not that far from Canada, a couple hours maybe. So I always like to mention that the doors to Penn Speak Radio are always open to all of my artists. If you ever find your way down in this area, please let me know for sure. You know how to reach out to me and say, hey, I'm going to be nearby. We'd love to have you in, do a quick impromptu here, play a couple of tunes in the studio for our listening audience live in the studio here at PPR.
Oh, thank you. I'd love to do that if I'm down that way for sure.
Yep, that would be just kind of keep that in mind. We talked about, you writing music, getting out there, trying to get some touring done. If people want to reach out to you on a personal level, are you on the social medias? Are you the guy that manages? Do you have a team that helps you with that? If somebody wants to make a comment on some of your songs, how can they talk to you? How can they reach out to you?
Yeah, I'm always on Facebook. I have my own personal page, but then I have my music page as well. So you can catch me there at facebook.com/cmc.music.
Okay.
So you can go to that one. You can message me there, or you can message me on my personal page too. I used to kind of tend to separate the two, but once in a while I'll cross over and post a few things about my music on my personal page too. So, but yeah, you can reach out to me there. I'm also on Twitter, but I haven't been on there as long. I'm not as fluent with that, I guess you would say, with Twitter, but I am on there. Things get shared to Twitter anyways from my Facebook. So
awesome.
Yeah, or you can email me through the website, through my webmaster on the website. He'll forward it to me, or you can get a hold of me that way.
Awesome. So people can be in touch directly with you about your music, which is always kind of cool when you're hearing direct feedback from your fans.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this last song that we're going to play at the end of the show, a little something called Would You Stay? It's just one of the 8, reminding people that there's also a little bit of a rock side, that melodic rock, a couple of tunes on this album as well, a nice rounded CD out there. But tell us a little bit more about Would You Stay and the influences of that one.
Yeah, Would You Stay is a song that I recorded actually a few years ago, and did a version of it on a past release of mine called Here and Now. So I decided that I wanted to rework the song a little bit and kind of make it sort of the way I first envisioned it, which was kind of like a sort of a Police, if you like the Police, that 80s sort of every breath you take sort of feel or something in there. And I wanted it to kind of be that melodic type of radio-friendly song. And And that's kind of where it's at, I think, now. It's just sort of one of those fun type of positive message songs again. So
Awesome. And that's a little something called Would You Stay? Now, you guys need to stay with with the wall-to-wall. You like that, how I did that?
Anyway.
Stay with Penn Speak Radio. We're going to play that tune at the end of the show to remind everybody if they did miss the interview and miss some of this other great music, the whole show gets played back on Sunday morning starting at 8 a.m. Eastern Time right here on PPR. You can download it on your apps. You can get it on the website. Take PPR wherever you go. Listen to the entire show and catch this great interview with Cory M. Coons. Great guy, Canadian, doing some great stuff. And it's an amazing album, and they can check out the information about your other album as well that's on your website.
Yeah, actually, there's I've done 6 albums since 2004.
Wow, okay.
2 EPs and 4 full-length albums.
Okay.
But there's a couple that you can't get access to. They're kind of out of print, so... But there are, I think there's 5 listed on my music page on my website.
Okay.
There's 5 there that you can download or order whatever you want to do. Yeah, check them out. I'm also, like I said, on Spotify as well, and you can check out my music there, and iTunes and CD Baby.
All right. Yeah, I see them there. The one makes you look, oh my gosh, you look really young on the one. From the ground up.
That's the oldest one, yeah. That's from 2004. So that was kind of a very southern rock, sort of country rock record in a way when that came out. So.
Awesome. Well, there you go. All of the albums are right there for you guys. You can check it out. You can buy it right off his website right there. And again, it's really simple. Cory M. Coons. Check it out. The latest, The Long Road Home. Great sounds on it. We're going to throw one more tune out there after we say goodbye real quick, and then one more at the end of the show. Anything else you want to throw out there, Cory, to make sure, send a message out, throw something out for your fans, your listening audience?
Just thank you so much for all the support once again. I really totally appreciate it so much, and all the energy that you guys have put into listening to the interviews and stuff, and thank you for having me on your show, and best of luck with Penn Speak Radio and everything. It's fantastic. Thank you so much.
Well, you're quite welcome, and we're going to wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we have the opportunity to have you come down to the studios at some point and do some stuff for us live here. We'd love to have you on board. You guys need to check out this album, Long Road Home. Cory M. Coons, some great music on it. We've got another tune of his coming up right now. It's a little something called Break the Fall. 8 songs on this album, Long Road Home. Take care, Cory, and I look forward to talking to you again. All right, sir?
That would be great. Thank you so much, Casey.
All right, just hang in there. I'm going to be right back with you in just a minute. But there you guys go. You want to make sure you don't miss out on this great album, especially if you're a fan of the crossover, the rock, the country. Here's another tune. From this album, Long Road Home, right here on Wall to Wall Country with Cory M. Coons. Checking him out, CoryMCoons.com. It's called Break the Fall.